So I'll get that up on a website soon. And
at the moment, she's been doing a lot of things for other people and not herself, and I'm trying to help her get things out there, doing stuff for herself to help more people find her. But right now, she's getting ready to head to Florida to go help somebody heal their leg or their foot or something, and she uses scalar technology and Rife machines, and like it's just really awesome stuff. I'm just learning about it all through her, and I'm watching documentaries about Rife, the man who made the machine, and it's just absolutely fantastic technology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've actually.
Go ahead.
I'm a big fan.
Oh, I was just saying that the machines that I have is, I have, get closer. Okay, I'm getting closer to the mic. I saw we have the Rife technology, which has been around for a very long time, and it's all real and it's all true and it's all been discovered. All disease has been cured. I mean, if you even look, and so they hit it all. And a good documentary to look up, which is not easy to find, but Matt has the link. So it's called The Forgotten Story of Royal Raymond Rife, or The Rise and Fall of a Scientific Genius. And it was released in like 2000. And the year before, they found a vault with all the tapes and research and all his paperwork that proves what he's done. And I mean, it's been like 20, it's 21 years since that documentary release. And so since then, of course, it's all the machines have been made. It all exists, and you can literally hook yourself up, send every right frequency through your body, and see if there's any spikes for anything, and then that comes in on a readout. And if you want to vibrate anything out of existence, you can actually do that. And or you can vibrate it in. You can put the good frequencies in, and then on top of that, there's the scalar waves. So this isn't the placebo scalar, like if you go to a new age shop and get a scalar necklace and it's like good vibes. I mean, I'm sure those, I can't, I'm sure they work. I don't know. But the technology that I'm talking about is actually, it creates, it's what Tesla used. It's a scalar wave that you can, scalar field you can create in a space. And with this scalar machine, you can hook it up to the Rife machine, and you can send the frequencies through the scalar field, which means it's not using EMF, so there's not even any EMF things affecting the body. It's like the most healing waves, which is what's interesting about the 5G towers, you guys, is if some benevolent force took over the government in some way, you could literally take the 5G towers and change them into healing machines, because they're killing machines or healing machines. You can do both. So it's really fascinating to think about that. What I mean by killing machines is, with the Rife machine, or with the technology that we have here, you could take, like if a dog had fleas, you could take a flea from that dog, put it in a remote modulator, scan its DNA, and then loop it back near that frequency, and it'll vibrate, that molecule or mycoplasma or flea. It'll vibrate the fleas on the dog and kill all the rest of the fleas from you having a flea.
So is this, Nina, just out of curiosity, is this, you know how Rife invented his own microscope, which of course is still unrivaled to this day, but he was actually able to visually see these viruses or whatever they are, when he was able to, find the resonant frequency and then, like a opera singer in a wine glass, hit the resonant frequency and destroy them. So is this thing that you're talking about, is that something that kind of takes the place of that, a new methodology?
Yes. No, yes, it is. It's the same thing that you're talking about. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome, because I have, up on the screen right now, I have a Rife machine. I've had one for nearly 20 years. The one I have is this one right here, the GB4000, and I also have the amplifier for it. And I have used it myself for years. My friends, family, everybody uses it, and everybody absolutely raves, over, how it works. But it seems like, because of the fact that the AMA will actually go after people that are, practitioners or saying that it cures anything, and they'll shut them down, put them in prison, whatever, it just seemed like a lot of people were not coming out with a lot of new frequencies. And I was thinking, well, Rife, nobody's going to have a Rife microscope, so I was just wondering how they were going to develop new frequencies. So I'm hoping then that, once this mainstream, whatever it is, is identified, that they will come out with a set of frequencies that basically annihilate it.
They actually have, and so there is one company that I really love, and there I have the little thing in front of me. It says, "Our mission: we will eliminate all illness and needless suffering. Our vision: we aim to empower people to take control of their over their own health and live long, healthy, fulfilling lives with happiness and joy. Our value: we value love, compassion, and honesty over profit." Why I'm mentioning this is there's one company that sells the cheapest rice machines because they wanted to get it out to the people, but they have and they have all, and the software is free. The hardware you have to pay for. It's to get a kit. It's a little under $1,000, and you can do biofeedback on yourself. And with the software, you can download it now for free, and it does have the COVID frequencies in there, and it's constantly being updated. And how they're able to do that is, like I said, because of the remote modulator, you could take DNA and you can check the frequencies of it at this point. Because it has been like 21 years since that Rife information was found in that vault. And so it's been enough time for people to figure this stuff out. The company that I was mentioning is called Spooky 2. Spooky, and with a 2 next to it, and they are very inexpensive. So yeah, your Rife machine looks awesome. It's just nice when it's so like in yours it looks like specific frequencies were programmed in,
Yes.
and right, yes, and I've
Lots of
seen
them.
those. Hmm. And but the database that I'm talking about is constantly being updated every few months, and it's very good. It only works on a PC, or you have to, like, if you have a Mac, you'll have to like split your hard drive. But yeah, anyone can download the free software right now and actually turn a PC into a very small Rife machine. But it's rather just buy the hardware and hook it all up. I think
Exactly.
every home should have one, and I'm just free. I should probably sign up as an affiliate and share it, but I haven't even. I'm just happy to share if it helps anyone. But I think every home should have a Rife machine. You can heal your friends and your family and explore that. I know that you're not supposed to say these things probably on the air, that you can, but you can play with the frequencies and see what happens. But yeah, it's very healing.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Yeah, and this of course is for entertainment. We are not issuing medical advice, anything like that. In fact, everything we say is bullshit. Don't listen to us. So
Yeah, so
exactly.
since we got the disclaimer out there, it's metaphysical frequencies that make music.
yeah,
Yes, yes. So they make good vibes.
yeah, exactly.
That's
Now,
why laughing is good medicine.
absolutely. Laughing, being together with people, just good energy. And, I really like that. And one of the things that I've noticed, especially with me, is that, over the past year, ever since this came about, I've been studying conspiracy theories for a long, long time. And I have to tell you that, you know, I've always known that days like these were coming, right? But then when they get here, you just find yourself in utter disbelief. Like, my God, I can't believe this is actually happening. And I've noticed that, me personally, I have been in a state of depression in a lot of the time. And for me, it's really difficult to try and keep myself out of that depression stage. So I listen to a lot of Abraham and stuff like that, trying to keep my vibrational frequencies high, because I know well enough that when you start focusing on the negative and low frequencies, that you manifest them. I know that is for a fact, right? So and I know there's a lot of people out there that are feeling the same way. I mean, look at the suicide rate. People are really just losing it. And so the key, and I really believe this, the key is your mental state, your attitude. And I'd, like Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say, if you keep an attitude of gratitude, or you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, and you keep that positive and high energy and stay around other people like that, you're going to be a lot better off.
And maybe it's something like the movie Jumanji, only like exactly what you fully believe with your full intentions maybe can manifest in the real world. Oh, I don't know. I'm just some crazy conspiracy dude.
No, but that's why for me was really, a new playground when you understand the shamanic new medicine, because it's something like this but put into papers and give you like a map to a guide to follow. Of course, ancient cultures know about all this, but maybe for us it's a little bit hard to access to the real information. But emotions, feelings. Sometimes scientists lose their minds trying to find like a graviton particle, but nobody can find an idea particle. An idea. What is an idea? What is it? What is it? The idea. Where it come from? And you can start from that point of view.
Or intuition, or memories, or pretty much anything.
Yeah, information. Where are the particles for that?
Yeah. So Nina, what is your secret? What do you do to keep positive?
What is my secret? Okay. I think constantly disidentifying with the dream spell and what we're being, why do I, like you said, I think, I've met Wayne Dyer before, so he said, what, when you think, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, energy flows where attention goes. So then becoming aware of what you're thinking about and why you're thinking about it in the first place. And even if it's your thought, because where did that thought come from? And is that thought, conducive to a better reality for you? Because, in a natural way, is it going to make it better? And, becoming aware, so becoming the witness of your own thoughts, and then being able to choose what thoughts you want to focus on. And then the reality is a fractal hologram, because everything is always happening in the now moment. We're always just here, and our attention on what we're focusing on is what changes the frequencies around us, which changes the holographic nature around us, and it moves us from room to room, or to South Carolina, or wherever we go. Um, so just becoming the witness, just identifying, and choosing what to give our emotion and energy to, which creates that motion and manifestational power. That's why the collective is so important. That's why they want to brainwash us through the TV, because collective fear, and it just, it's like magic, and then all of a sudden there's all this. I was living in Salt Lake for a while, and when COVID started, or what, and all the fear, it seemed like, is what made people ill more than, and breathing breathing your own carbon dioxide back also.
Yeah, really bad, yeah.
Yeah, and someone in the chat says, does anyone think that this could be misconstrued as satanic? I'm like, just so you know, Yahshua actually went around telling everyone things like this. So that's the whole trick, just so you know. He said that you are amazed by things I did. You can do greater things than this, and you can make that mountain move. Your metaphysical capabilities can affect reality that we perceive. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what would be satanic. Satanic is the government. Satanic is the Morgellons virus. Satanic is the fear. That's satanic.
Right.
The spells, the dark magic, everything that mitigates it and blasts it away is coming back to God and realizing our divinity and perfection, and the geometry of actual nature, and how plants grow, and how nature unfolds, and how our human bodies are this perfect sacred geometrical temple that we're our avatars. So that, rejoicing in that and remembering that, and our divine blueprint is what blasts away the archons and the entities that feed on fear, and they just exist just out of our dimensions that we can perceivably see in the 3D. But going above them, we don't need to. They're very close, so they feed and try to scare people, and it's called emotional loosh. They take it. So we don't have, but you can claim your power and your sovereignty back and go higher, and connect with your God source, whatever that means to and and remind each other of that. I think it's really important to connect with. Yeah.
Right. I think it may be, just to say this, I know I'm talking a lot, but I think that they've drowned us in fear, so that when they come reveal some of these truths that are here right now, you have this metaphysical power right now, everyone listening to it right now, and you've had it the whole time. But when they come and they present it to you like it's something that they can give you that eliminates the fear, people will flock to it. So realize you have this power now. Overcome fear now. You do not need to fall for the little Hegelian dialectic they're setting up, right? That's the whole thing. They don't want you to realize how much power you have that's self-attainable. You do not need what they come and bring you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's the thinking that you need something else to be okay. Like I'm scared, just fix it. I want the vaccine. Just fix it. It's giving your power away to something, but we have it all inside. And on top of it, the suppressed knowledge that it's kind of like this. We don't even need the Rife machine. We don't even need the scalar waves. But they technically, if we really activated all of our heart centers and remembered who we were, but we need these steps and tools. Or I also I've been involved in crystal singing bowls for over 10, 15 years, and I travel to wellness and different wellness and self-help conferences, and that's how I met Wayne Dyer or St. Alex Gray or things like that, and that really opened up my mind. But the crystal, because we're kind of ourselves have been crystalline in structure, so even playing with a crystal bowl or musical instruments sometimes really helps people because you just feel the vibration. Just putting your hand outside of a crystal bowl but not touching it, you feel you see the vibration and you feel the vibration, but there's nothing there, right? And so a lot of people go through a shift like, oh my God, what am I feeling? Is it energy? It's like, yes, it is energy, it is sound, but you can't see it, so it is like magic. And then can only feel it because you are also vibrating, and you are also and resonating on different vibrations.
exactly.
So
And it feels good. It feels good.
yeah.
And the interesting thing about it is if you look at these vibrations that are making you feel good, and like for example, if you put them on an oscilloscope, they will literally go into the sacred geometry shapes, right? And they look beautiful. They are beautiful. They are very resonant with the body. They're very conducive to healing and things like this. And I've known this for a long time. Everything is made of vibration and frequency. Tesla knew it, and it's always been my opinion that when God spoke things into existence, that basically He was generating a set of frequencies that were vibrating the ether, the luminiferous ether, and then out of that cymatically came reality. And we are a product of that, and so is everything else. So if you keep with those beautiful geometries, they are very healing. Absolutely.
Guys, someone is asking, and Iru was asking as well, like, where can you get the software to run the Rife stuff on your PC? They're asking, like, specifically, they were looking to find it.
If you just go to the website, the company that gives out the free software is Spooky2, SPOOKY, and then the number 2, and then Rife, RIFE.
Spooky two altogether.
Yeah, Rife, yeah. And, that's interesting how Google isn't pulling up their website. Holy cow.
Google's trying to hide them.
Don't be conspiracy.
Is it spooky2.com? So I found spooky.
Yes, that's it. Wow, how interesting. So yeah, if you look in there, I think it's under resources on the right. It downloads, and then it should have software. Yep, all the software is right there, so you can open it and download it, and that hooks in. You can run it if you have. It'll just ask for a generator, and if you can hook that up to your PC, which you can, it'll turn your PC into a tiny Rife machine, but it still is. I would recommend just purchasing it. It's only under $1,000 for a kit, and you can always add more to this hardware. But once you have it forever, and you can. It's not. It's not. There's no like monthly payment or anything. So it's the best. I'm so wowed by that company because, yeah, and it's the combo pack. I'm sure your Rife machine works great too.
It does, and the one thing I wanted to say about it is there are a lot of different Rife machines, and guys, if you go looking for them, most of them are not sold as quote-unquote Rife machines, and the reason for that is because if anybody does that, they'll haul them away to jail. They absolutely will. They'll come and find all that. So what they're sold as is frequency generators. So mine in particular here has a lot of frequencies programmed into it, and of course there's also an interface where I can download things like the Spooky 2 frequencies into it. But the reason I also would agree with Nina, and you don't really necessarily want to use the frequencies off of your PC, is because the PC, is not going to penetrate those frequencies into your body very well. This particular Rife machine actually modulates these frequencies onto a 20 megahertz carrier, and the 20 megahertz RF carrier actually will, excuse me, will penetrate into the skin, and then the skin will actually naturally demodulate the right frequencies out of it. So you will have
hold something.
yeah, you do. There's actual things that you can sit on. You have little poles that you hold on to. You can put them under your feet, under your butt, in your hands, under your arms. It depends on the area of your body that you want to target specifically. And then, you basically program up your frequencies and off you go. And like I said, guys, after almost 20 years, this is great. Go ahead, Nina.
Yes, I have all the attachments also to my frequency machine, and we've got they have the silver socks, the silver like ankle little things, gloves, silver gloves. You can put those on and it goes right into your body. I mean, and the rods, of course. What's really cool about that company also is you can even take the rods and make one of those those foot baths that you've seen when people put their feet in and they put the electricity in and it detoxes the feet, but the kind of false thing about it is that it changes a different color, and they say, oh, that's fake, blah blah blah, because of the chemical interaction in the water with the electricity, and that's what changes the water color. It's not actually the toxins. But with this Rife machine, you can do that. It's not going to change the water color, but you can actually put your feet in water and put the rods in the water and do it for a foot detox through the body. But there's all kinds of things you can do. You can run a Schumann resonance. You can, ooh, you guys, guess what? You can vibrate. Okay, you can even grow people's teeth back and their cavities go away. If somebody
Whoa, really?
Yes,
I
yes.
need that.
And without doing any, one of the things is part of the. Okay, I have a remote modulator here, right? So you take your DNA, like your fingernail, and you put it in, and with that, through we would run the frequencies into your DNA for just your gums and your teeth, and then you don't have to do anything. You can move around the day working on your things. It actually this is why it's called spooky, but it works through the quantum entanglement is real. So when we're directing that to your DNA, it starts affecting your body, and within like 3 weeks, people's teeth turn from like having some situations to. It's just amazing to see the before and after photos from the groups I'm involved with. What were you
I
saying?
have a tooth that was cracked. I cracked a tooth in half, and I went to the dentist, and they wanted to pull it out and give me an implant. They wanted to charge me like $4,000, and I said no, and I left the dentist with my cracked tooth, and I still have it. I've been trying to heal it.
Yeah, well, you can. I mean, I don't know how but remineralizing the teeth and sending, it just happens. Yeah, we can send you I can send you some information later. Where you can. There's a Facebook group also on that Spooky did, and they answer just Spooky answers or the people that work with the machines. So it's amazing to see the before and after pictures with that. Yeah.
If my tip front tooth came back, I would be very impressed.
if
I'd be like, wow.
He has a chipped front
I
tooth.
have like, he got knocked out when I was like 11, and then capped all the way to 25 or something, knocked it back out. Just don't care to fix it. But if that came back, I'd be like, wow.
Well, I mean, anything is possible, I suppose. I don't want to, but I just know so far I haven't done that. I haven't grown, but I know that like somebody had a hole and cavities, or it's, it just goes white and starts to fill in, because your body, and it's probably true for getting a whole tooth back too. We don't know yet. We're just, one step at a time. But we do have a divine blueprint in our body. Like if somebody doesn't have a leg all of a sudden, but they still feel their leg and they have a phantom leg, like what is that? So there's still a divine blueprint that's there.
Energetic body, right?
Mm-hmm. And
The energetic body.
I agree 100%. Animals can do it. I've heard diets can do it. I bet frequencies definitely can do it.
Yeah, so, and it's all frequency, right? So I was getting really sci-fi the other day in my mind with that, and I'm like, okay, so if we can do all that, what if we get the frequency of a full tree, and then, like, if we had the technology to document the full frequency like mapping of a tree, and then we can vibrate the tree into existence. And I'm like, then we can vibrate utopia into existence. We can grow the giant trees, and then it's just, and then but then that goes back to maybe that's what they were doing more recently of with the, before the resets, maybe with the pyramids and the different structures all over the world. They look like, from the research and from the people that I communicate with, it seems like they were giant frequency devices, even, and so that we're healing. There
You
could
see,
have gone all kinds of ways. I mean, like, if we look back in the day, it could have been that we've had giant trees, and because of the trees, that created certain electromagnetism. We were probably all taller and bigger. There was more water. There was sonoluminescence, kind of avatar-y looking, and then maybe it was all quarried and chopped down, and then after that, they created big, temples, quote, or pyramids, because you can make those as frequency devices to raise the frequency, and maybe those were destroyed, and then maybe that's where we are now. Could be. But on that same note, I was thinking, what if we mapped the frequencies of wings, like wings, and then vibrated those onto a person? I know that's totally sci-fi, but it was a fun thought, and then we can all
Wow, that's
fly.
pretty crazy. But I will say most people that are pretty woke, they know Nikola Tesla was a genius.
Once I thought about this
Sorry,
machine because
I'm totally.
because thinking in singing in the bathroom, making sounds when you're inside the shower, you get sometimes you hit a frequency or a note that resonates with the rest of the chamber around you. Get this kind of extra echo, and I was playing with this, and I thought of this resonator, which would be kind of when you do something, you can come in like a little chamber and you start singing something or a mantra or a frequency, and the whole chamber would start resonating back. So I thought maybe that could be a healing kind of thing. I was looking at the orgone energy, if you know, what's his name? Wilhelm Reich.
Oh, yeah, Lisa did those all the time. So, or those generators, orgone generators.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She seems to think that they work because she does it all the time, and she doesn't tell me when she does it. She always tells me after. Like, the reason that happened is because, look, I did this orgone generator.
Well, you know who builds those, right? Who makes them? Chris Pontius. Chris Pontius makes them. Of course, Chris Pontius is the guy that builds all the flat Earth models.
Right.
The guy is a craftsman extraordinaire, and he builds those. And I really want to get a hold of one of his orgone generators and test it up against a fiber optic gyro to see what is actually happening with the ether and how it's being manipulated.
What does it do? How does it work, the orgone generator?
Well, that's a good question, Nina. Can you answer that? or do you have any expertise in that?
Oh, and yeah, what is the question?
Well, we were wondering if you had any idea how the orgone generators actually worked, or how that mechanism worked.
I can't answer that personally. As I've researched it myself, and I do understand if you put a strawberry on some orgonite, and next to it, and another strawberry next to it, the strawberry on the orgonite will stay fresh for much longer than the other one. And then you can bury orgonite in your garden, and so your plants grow much bigger and just bountiful. But I understand that the synergy of the different metals and compounds in the orgonite create a certain field so I do have friends that create those in Sedona, and they make really good orgonite.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's the different energetic properties between the different metals that you combine, which gives the different types of orgonite different. Like, they're different. So
Right.
it depends on what metals and stuff you put in there. And then most of the time people put it in the form of a pyramid, because the pyramid shape directs the energy out the point.
Yeah. One thing I have
That's what I
seen.
have.
Oh, is it? Cool. What? So,
Yeah, a huge organite pyramid with my logo on it. Somebody made it for me and sent it. It's really kick ass.
that is awesome. I really want to get one of those. But, I've actually seen a demonstration, and I have no idea how it works, but I do know that the organite has something to do with the ether. But here's what I saw, and I have no idea how to explain this, but when they first came out, they were being marketed as chembusters, right? Well, what does that mean? Well, we all know what chemtrails are, right? And the first time I actually saw one demonstrated is a guy brought it out, and they had just finished spraying. There were chemtrails everywhere. And he brought it outside, and literally within an hour, you could see it breaking up the chemtrails within a large area directly above the chembuster. And I'm just sitting there going, that's extraordinary. I mean, wow. So
Yeah,
I don't know how it works, but it does.
I know that Wilhelm Reich is the one person that got their books burned in the United States, and he died when he was being sued because of the things he was inventing, including, I guess, it sounds like what you're just describing. He was able to make it rain and to point some frequency machine to the sky and condense molecules. This is the same guy who's...
Like I said, it has something to do with manipulating the ether. And, as you guys know, I've been talking about the ether. And when we worked with the fiber optic gyro, the conclusion that we came to, ultimately was what we were registering on the fiber optic gyro was the rotational spin of the ether itself. And that's what the fog was picking up. Of course, the Globies want you to believe that it's picking up Earth rotation. But, we were able to prove that that was not the case. But it's interesting because there seems to be some sort of energy there, and it is the ether that they've known about. Science has known about for a long, long time. And I just really think that getting an organ generator and a fiber optic or ring laser gyro together would be really interesting to see what kind of interaction they have. And I'll bet you it'll be profound. So that's just, my thoughts on it. Cool.
Interesting stuff.
Wait, what is and combining it with a vibrating gyro? What did you say?
Well, there's a thing. This kind of gets kind of technical, but I'll explain it in a nutshell. There is a piece of equipment that was basically invented well over 100 years ago, and it's called let's just call it a Sagnac device. And basically, what it does is it sends two laser beams in opposite directions, right? And then through interferometry technology, you're able to see a phase differential pop up when the device itself is moved, okay? So this all comes back to the idea of light and radio frequencies are not propagating through atmosphere because they don't propagate through wind or gases or anything like that, but there is something that they call the luminiferous ether, right? And this has been postulated forever, until Einstein, basically said, that's poppycock, it's not real. And the reason that was done was because they weren't able to detect any motion of the Earth going around the sun. So they just mathematically wiped that out. But these devices actually registered the motion of things through the ether, and we use them today in aircraft for high precision navigation, right? But again, it fires laser beams through